Not Drumstep.
So for the basses, you can see here that it's like, I don't know, quite a lot of samples all chopped up. I didn't do this by hand. I used a method called Legato, which I watched a couple of videos on, and Deadmau5 was talking about it as well. And it's basically the method that they use for creating French house and complextro and related genres. So I'm just going to show you how I did that. I actually did this in mixer mode. Hope I've still got the samples here. Yeah, I've still got some of them here. I've got a heap of samples here from Prime Loops. Which pack is it again? Oh, there'll be a link in the description for the pack anyway. And basically I found the sounds that I liked, and then I selected them all. Like I wanted these 5 here to be playing together, and I selected them all, and then enabled Legato. And if you just have a look at it, I'll zoom in here so you can see these settings. Basically what this does is analyzes the warping from 2 to 16, the segments, and then it's going to play any other after 1 bar. That 1 means 1 bar. And some of them I've set to like 2 or like half a bar or a third of a bar, just so that it's a bit of variation. And basically what this does is, I'll show you just now, you're going to see these jumping about between samples. So and it's kind of random as well, so you're always going to get different effects. So I think you get the idea there. You can see it start jumping about, and you can change the speed in which it does that by, as I say, changing its number. Like you can see this one here, every 3 beats it's gonna, like this one's gonna play from 3 beats, and it's gonna change on to the next one. And it's really worth playing about with that. Just make sure they're all on key. Like I've chosen ones that are all in the key of G, because I'm a G. And yeah, so it's always going to be in key, and it's going to sound pretty cool. So that's the bass track. I think I've got some EQ on it as well, which I turn off where I'm not using it to save CPU, because you might notice that like my CPU is like 97% there, which is really, really bad. So on the bass track I've got an EQ8, I have another EQ8, just giving it a little boost in the middle there. And the reason I've got these little spikes here is just taking out problematic frequencies, or I would find the frequencies that the drums are hitting at, and whatever frequency the drums are hitting at, like the kick, hi-hat, snare, I would then drop the bass ones out so that the bass isn't going to be conflicting with the drums. And then I just give it a little boost in the middle here, and then just an EQ3. I sometimes like to use EQ3 just so I can get a sort of nice control over it, like you would have with a set of decks, I suppose. Then I have a splitter ×3, so it splits it into 3 parts. And the reason I do this is so that I can put some reverb and high effects onto the higher parts of it. So if I just mute this, solo this should I say, so you can hear that there's like a tail coming off the bass now, just at the high. I don't want that on the low because it's going to muddy it up. So yep, that's on the high. On the mid bass I've got a compressor and more reverb. You can see I've got the reverb filtered differently on the mid. I've got, so it's accentuating the middle parts of the frequency, and I've got an auto filter here as well. So yeah, I'm basically using effects racks and splitters, and I'll put a link in the description on a tutorial on how to make one of these for yourself. One of these splitters is pretty simple. This splitter here, Like I've saved that as a preset, so I use that for affecting different areas of the frequencies. You can use that for parallel compression and shit as well. So right, there's the Hey sample. I've gone over that. This is a resampled clap with reverb, and the reason I resampled it is again to save CPU, because reverb uses quite a lot of CPU. Actually, it's not a clap. This is the tail of that Nirvana sample, resampled and boosted, and it sounds like a clap. And in the context of the mix, it actually sounds like it's a clap, but it's not. It's just reverb from this sample. So that's quite a cool story, bro. Like I'll let you hear that with the drums, and it actually does sound like a clap. But it's not. It's actually just the yeah. And I've got like reverse there as well. Next up, is this an actual clap? No, this is the sample again, same sample, but I've chopped it up so it's very short, and then like looped it up just to make a little rhythm. So it sounds like a percussive, but it's actually still that same sound. And the benefit of doing this is because it's always going to be in key with the other sounds, because it's originated from the same sample, so it has the same tonal properties as the original sound. So that's a benefit of doing that. And like I just basically, to get these short sounds, I just took this, copied it, and then like pressed -2 a few times until I got this short sound, and then made a little pattern with it and duplicated it, etc. What have we got here? I've got a little arpeggio, and I made this with an arpeggiator, an operator, and a bit of reverb, ping pong delay, EQ just boosting up the highs, and taking the width down a bit. I think that sounds really nice, that. And then I grouped them all together. And then I've got another prime loop sample here, I think. Yeah, it's kind of like this is what it sounds like without it. It sounds like a bass sound. But that's not the sound I was wanting to go for, so I made an audio effects rack just to cut out the low frequencies, cut out the high frequencies, just left with the mid. And I've got another stereo fix on it, which is basically a splitter ×3, which I made, but this actually controls the width, so that your basses, your lower tones are quite mono, and your mids are getting higher and higher in width. So yeah, that's that one. What have we got here? Yeah, we've got this sort of pulsing sound, and this is what it sounds like without the effects wrap. It's like a bass sound, but I just wanted to use the high part of it, so I basically did the same as I did before, cut out the lower frequencies and automated it as well, so to give it a bit of movement. Sounds pretty cool, I think. So this part here, the bridge bass, this is made up of samples from the same pack, but it's like different samples, and I've put them in different orders, and created like a new kind of melody, but it's in the same key. And I've got effects chain, I've got my splitter ×3 on it, which I like to use quite a lot. I've got an auto filter just so I can get this rise, and I've got my EQ8, and again there'll be a link in the description for the sample pack that these came from if you want to get the same sounds, and that supports the channel as well when you buy from them by using that link anyway. This is just a little simple bass sound I've got going down, just to add a little bit of dynamics, I suppose, a bit of interest.
Ear trash.
You know what I'm saying? Then I've got a sub bass here, and the trick with sub basses is to keep it as minimal as possible, just have a sine wave. So I've got a sine wave here, just on its own. Sorry for the crackles. And then I've got a noise wave here, and this is basically just to give it a bit of body. You can't even hear it. It's just like white noise. I don't know if you can hear it. I'll turn it up. There. I noticed that like Skrillex's tunes have this like sub bass with like a sort of white noise going over them, but it's really subtle. So I just tried that as well, just to try and see what that would do, and I think it gives it quite a very, very subtle but quite cool effect that maybe somebody with really tuned ears will pick up on. But yep, and that is it. I think that's all. That's 20 odd tracks I think I've gone through. Hope I haven't missed any. And this last one here, this is my pre-rendered track. This is a technique that I've recently started using. I've never seen anybody else do this, but I like to do this. Basically make an audio track, set it to resampling, hit arm, then record. I'm not going to do this now because it's probably going to mess up the audio recording. And this basically gives you an idea of what this is going to look like when you render it out. So like if you see that your kick drums are coming way over the rest of the wave, you're like shit. Like maybe like here, my kick drums are just piercing through, maybe a little bit too much, but I don't know, maybe a little bit too much. So I could then decide, right, I need to take the kick drums down a bit or put the synths up and like work on my automation here, which I might do when it comes to the final mastering stage, because this is actually going to be getting released on BA Records in Germany, so I'm quite looking forward to that, and they're going to be mastering it in their studio there, so it should be quite interesting to hear what it sounds like. So that's the pre-render. I just like to do that so I can see what it's going to look like once it's rendered. And finally the master track. Now I've kept it quite simple because I knew this was going to be getting mastered, so all I'm using the master track, sorry, is for automating the volume, the width. Like I'll show you the automation on the volume here. You can see it starts off quiet, gets a little bit louder, the drop comes in, and when the drop comes in it's like boom, gets louder, and then I've kind of got lazy with my automation on the end there. It should be, oh no I haven't, what am I talking about? No, this is the end of it here. This bit here after the track has got no samples in it. This is just for sampling. When I'm sampling stuff, I'll come over here, record it here, and then drag it back into the track over here. So this bit's my main track. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this has given you an insight on the processes that I've used for this track. It took me about 2 or 3 days of maybe like 6 or 7 hour shifts, so about probably 24 hours in total to make this track. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. If you watched this whole video, then high five to you. Please, I'm begging you, because I'm a beg whore. Nah, but I'd really appreciate if you could give the video a like, or perhaps share it about with your friends. Other stuff you can do to help me out with the channel is like my Facebook page, because that kind of helps me get extra views on my videos, because like sometimes the YouTube sub boxes fail. So if you like my Facebook page, I usually post my new videos there, and that would be awesome. On Twitter as well, it'd be cool. Give me somebody to talk to, because I'm so lonely. I'm only joking, but yeah, if you could, there'll be some links in the description. Basically, all the links in the description basically are to help me in the channel out. So whatever you do, yeah. So thank you for watching. I hope this has helped. God bless America.
This is not Drumstep.